how did the name come to be for Big Ace Detailing? What inspired that name?
So I'm glad you asked because that's the most important part. Big Ace was a nickname to one of my best friends, JP, Jason Pierce. Shout out to him and rest in peace. He was a gearhead car guy. He was a manager right here for Soundwave Audio right here in Stewart, and he spent a long time there doing a lot of good work, building all types of super cool sound systems for cars, and not just like even regular cars. These are people who are buying brand new Turbo S's and Rolls Royces, and they're coming in to completely upgrade their audio again, to just a whole nother level. So he built really cool high end audio stuff. He was a big gearhead, always built fast cars, was always racing, so he was a well-known guy. He was like the glue of the car community in Port St. Lucie and other areas. Like he was a guy that grew up here, had a lot of friends. He completely lit up the room when he would walk in. Everybody knew who he was. He was always good energy, and he definitely was a great friend. And he passed away from COVID, and it was a rough time. It was a rough time for a lot of us. He had a lot of people close to him. It wasn't just me. It was a bunch of people, and we all definitely love him, miss him dearly. It's just one of those things where it kind of just takes you by surprise. I was with him the night before he went to the hospital. We were actually doing a car meet for another friend who passed away. So it was
Welcome back, everyone, to a My Living Media podcast. My name's Lucy Dodd, and today we're here with Shadi from Big Ace Detailing. Welcome, Shadi.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's a nice place. And,
Thank you.
Very excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. If you just want to start off with introducing yourself and telling our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so my name's Shadi. I own Big Ace Detailing, and I've been detailing for 10 years. I started this business about 2.5 years ago as like an official detailer. But, my first job was detailing at a dealership in Fort Pierce, detailing back then, when I was 16. So it's been a good 10 years of like actual experience. But in that time, I actually learned like the true definition of like detailing and getting a car properly done right. And so, yeah, I got a lot of experience on my hands for being relatively young, and it's definitely something that I love and I'm passionate about. And just because I'm a car guy, I love cars, and I sold cars before this, in between that time of starting detailing. So I was always kind of around the car business in general. So this is just like a new growth, a new chapter. And it's been exciting. It's been fun.
Great. And so what caused you to kind of venture out on your own and start Big Ace Detailing?
Being in the car business, I worked for a lot of different brands. I've worked car sales, between Infiniti to Ford, Mercedes. I mean, you name it. Spent years in different dealerships, just kind of trying to find myself, I guess. I knew I loved cars, but didn't know exactly where I fit in. So I spent a few years trying to fit in. I even switched to boats, tried to sell boats, retail management, tried a few things. Just, always aggressive to get money, let's just say, and build a future. But never felt so right. Like I would be somewhere, I'd be doing well, and I'm like, it doesn't feel like I should be here. Like it always felt like there was something more, or something that I wanted to do on my own for me. And I think I came to that conclusion after my last couple of jobs. I was like, yeah, I really just need to work for myself and try and follow my dad's footsteps a little bit. He was someone who started from nothing and completely built his own empire and his own business from scratch. And I've seen him become from someone who was, starting out in this country who couldn't even speak English to being extremely successful. So kind of wanted to run that route just in my own way with my own passion.
Yeah.
So
That's nice, because I kind of was in the same boat. I feel like after graduating, I was kind of lost. I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. I know I'm a hard worker, but I want to get out there and
right.
I want to hustle hard and do something. And, luckily I stumbled across My Living Media, and now, I love doing what I'm doing and working with Lewis. But that's great that's, kind of what you figured out for yourself.
Yeah, I would say fulfillment is definitely important with what you've done. That's what I learned. Everyone's different and everyone's situation is different, but and the different jobs I had and the experience I had, I've been working. My first job was at 14. I was doing dishes for Big Apple Pizza.
Wow.
St. Lucie
Yeah,
West.
I know Big Apple Pizza.
Shout out to them for, showing me the ropes at a young age. And, but yeah, I've worked for a long time, and just trying to figure out different things, but it always came down to, I want to work for myself. and I want to do something I'm passionate about. And I'm finally there. It took 2.5 years to like build the business to a busy level. I'd say like 2 years to build to a busy level. I spent the first year and a half as a part-time business completely working a full-time job. I was actually managing an arcade in the area, and that was great and all, but like I said, it might be a good paying job, but it wasn't fulfilling. So I had to switch something up and do something that I was really like proud of myself for, happy about. So I started, little by little getting equipment and buying a truck. I went from a trailer to a truck, and just fully equipped the truck and just kept upgrading equipment, and built myself up to a very busy level now. I am attacking mainly the commercial side of things, not so much the residential. I have a lot of residential customers that I built over time, and I still get new ones all the time. I always take care of them, but I learned over time that the main focus in building this was to start attacking the commercial side of business, going to dealerships, places I used to work, places where they're just giving you multiple cars a day, a week, nonstop on repetition, versus like, some customers, everyone's different. Some customers want to do their car once a week. Some customers want to do their car once a year. I have both. So like it's hard to kind of build a schedule off everyone trying to do something different. So I take care of all those customers when they come through and they want their car done. I get them booked in, I get them out the way, and they're always happy. But I try to focus all the energy and new time on commercial side of business.
That's good. And Lewis and I were kind of speaking with this or on this with one of our other clients about how commercial jobs really speak to how reputable your work is. Because if you're getting these commercial jobs, then these residential people are gonna be like, wow, really credible. And he does know what he's doing if he's getting commercial jobs. So that's
100%.
awesome.
And it's helped out that way a lot because I work for a lot of high-end dealerships, luxury brands, and we're doing ceramic coatings and details on brand new $250,000 plus cars. And when we're doing them at that dealership, the customers that are in there for service or walking by, they'd be like, "Oh, are you mobile? I see you here with the truck." And I'm like, "Absolutely." And I get their number and I'm right over there. And same for you guys, if you ever need your car done while you're here at work, I bring my own gas, sorry, not gas, power, electric, water, and I can come and knock the cars out right here in the parking lot.
We would love to do that. I actually would love to do that because I'm so OCD with my car, like I was telling you earlier. But how did the name come to be for Big Ace Detailing? What inspired that name?
So I'm glad you asked because that's the most important part. Big Ace was a nickname to one of my best friends, JP, Jason Pierce. Shout out to him and rest in peace. He was a gearhead car guy. He was a manager right here for Soundwave Audio right here in Stewart, and he spent a long time there doing a lot of good work, building all types of super cool sound systems for cars, and not just like even regular cars. These are people who are buying brand new Turbo S's and Rolls Royces, and they're coming in to completely upgrade their audio again, to just a whole nother level. So he built really cool high end audio stuff. He was a big gearhead, always built fast cars, was always racing. So he was a well known guy. He was like the glue of the car community in Port St. Lucie and other areas. Like he was a guy that grew up here, had a lot of friends. He completely lit up the room when he would walk in. Everybody knew who he was. He was always good energy, and he definitely was a great friend. And he passed away from COVID, and it was a rough time. It was a rough time for a lot of us. He had a lot of people close to him. It wasn't just me. It was a bunch of people, and we all definitely love him, miss him dearly. It's just one of those things where it kind of just takes you by surprise. I was with him the night before he went to the hospital. We were actually doing a car meet for another friend who passed away.
That's
so
so
it
sad.
was at my job at the time, and just sad. Life moves fast, and it's definitely the hardest time I've had in my life. That was the closest person I've ever lost to me. I've lost obviously family and friends, but not somebody who I was with every single day almost. At a point in time, me and him would get off of work and have dinner literally 2, 3, 4 nights a week. We were just always together, and it was definitely a rough time. It was a big loss. It was a big loss to the whole community, and I wanted to keep that name alive. So I started the company under a different name, and ran into a little bit of trouble with another detailer who had the same name. They just had 772 at the end. And I was like, okay, I see where this is going. I was like, hey, listen, I never found you on Sunbiz or anything, but I do see you're on Instagram and you reached out to me. I don't even want it's not even about like who's legally right. It's
Yeah.
about the fact that you might end up with my customers just because of the name.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and switched it right away. And I was like, you know what? Big Ace was his nickname. That was his Instagram. And I was like, throw Big Ace Detailing in there, keep his name alive, get to keep talking about him. I put rest in peace JP all over the truck and just try to, he's a car guy, so it's easy to talk about him to car people, car customers, and I can't tell you how many customers have seen the truck or the stickers and they're like, so who's Big Ace? Who's JP? They just want to know about him. And that's like the best question you can ask me because I'll go on a 20, 30-minute rant about him, as much as I can, because he was just the best. He was literally one of the best people I've ever met on this planet, for sure. For sure.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss. It is really nice that you did name your business after him. He seemed like a great guy, and it is touching to hear that story and know he's kind of wrapped into, your passion, his passion for cars, and that's how Big Ace got its name. I love
Yeah,
that.
definitely. So, it's nice keeping his name alive, keeping it rolling. So definitely never want to change that. That's why I always have on all the business cards, the first thing it says, in love and memory of JP, Jason Pierce, because,
I think I saw that.
yeah, it's definitely,
Oh, yeah, that is nice.
yeah, it's definitely something I want to hold on to, Yeah, he just left such a huge impact on everyone, for sure. And I'll tell you, Cars has never been the same since, the car community, the crew, the racing, any of that nature has never felt or been the same since he passed. His dent was massive.
I
For
know.
sure.
It's crazy how there is those certain people in our life
Yeah.
that have such an impact on, every aspect of our life, and then something tragic happens. It's so sad it happened to be COVID because, he
Yeah.
was young, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
So
he was 42 at the time, right around there.
so heartbreaking.
And and he was a father as well. Not only is he a great friend, but Jason was a fantastic father. He was a fantastic son, a fantastic brother. I mean, you name it, he was that guy. His daughter was 5 years old at the time. So and he was the best dad. I'll tell you. He had even the little Power Wheels
Oh,
electric Escalade for her to
Yeah.
drive, and he hooked it up, sound speakers, and like he decked it out as if it was a custom car, and like so like he always made his daughter feel the car world too. You know what I mean? And had her driving buggies and four wheelers, so it was always a sorry,
No, you're
it was always a it was always a passion of his, not just for him, but for his for his daughter and his family. Everyone loved cars.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I asked you that because I did see in your Instagram bio, I believe that you kind of said in loving memory or something like that with the name. So I'm glad I
Yeah.
got to learn about your beloved friend. So if you want to tell us a little bit more about your passion for detailing and how this all, kind of stemmed for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you could say I guess I got into the business, but I'll say the first one was when I got my first car at a young age. I was washing that car like 3 days a week. And then, it was just getting ridiculous. And I was always like that, always wanted to have my car looking on point or, do little neat things. And through high school and college, I did all types of side work. Like I would detail cars, I'd paint brake calipers, I'd paint wheels, we'd tint little lights and reflectors. And I was like, I'm making some good money doing this. I was like, I could make a business out of this one day. Now, had I trusted myself the way I did now, if I had started back then, I mean, it would be ridiculous, because even back then, just through friends and family, I had a lot of business. And, but, I ventured off to kind of see what was out there and trying to find myself. And, like I said, sold cars for a bunch of different brands and tried all types of different jobs. And when I circled back to detailing, I was like, all right, if I'm going to detail, I'm going to little by little just build this up for now so that I have it like kind of established and comfortable. And then about a year ago, actually, if today's the 15th, I started full time actually 1 year ago. So it was a part-time business for a year and a half. And then I started full time 1 year ago today. That's funny. So yeah, I've been full time for a year and I kind of just buckled down and told myself like, all right, I'm going to take this seriously and really learn as much as I possibly can. And most of that was in the paint correction and ceramic coating world, learning about wet sanding and cutting and polishing and, the different types of coatings you can apply in a car to protect it and like learning how to get a car that's swirled up and scratched from the car wash, and get it back to like a mere finish. The first time I did that, I want to say it was like 6 years ago. I bought a Pontiac GTO. It had 220,000 miles on it, and I was like, I'm gonna sell this car. I was like, let's clean up the paint a bit. And the paint was just scratched up, swirled up, and I bought all the stuff to learn how to do a paint correction. Watched some YouTube videos. My friend Josh, he's a great detailer. He was doing it at the time, so he taught me how to paint correct. What paths and compounds work for what in what order, and the speed and process of everything, and how it should look versus how it shouldn't. And I did my first car like 6 years ago, and it came out great. It looked amazing. And then from there, it was a learning process, learning different cars and different paints because every car is different. The worst possible paint you could do is like usually General Motors black. Certain blacks from General Motors are the hardest to work on. And then a lot of like Japanese brands are much easier to cut right through and polish. And so every car is different. And it took a long time to kind of passionately learn what works for what. German cars, American cars, Japanese cars, all I kind of have my own little recipe for when it comes to like getting paint looking on point, because they all cut differently. And it really is almost a little bit of a different process for each car. So it was a big learning curve and, patience thing. But like I said, I love cars. I've been racing since I was 16. I used to have to get a parental notary form because I was too young to race at the track. So I've been racing. I've been around cars. I've been in all the shops, from here to Sebastian, all the way at Sticky's Dyno Performance and other places, just building cars, doing all types of cool stuff. And it was just I knew I wanted to work on cars type thing, but didn't know exactly how until I started really pushing the detail thing. And I was like, oh, I love this. The passion for me is like taking somebody's car who their paint either looks rough or it's just extremely dirty and neglected and bringing it back to just a fantastic finish and seeing the customer's reaction and seeing how happy they are and getting that satisfaction. Like, all right, I took care of them. They're happy, and move on to the next person.
Yeah, and that definitely, that seems to make you stand out from your competitors, just being so passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not just doing it for the money or just to have some type of job. You're very passionate.
Yeah, I would say that would be the main thing to differentiate me between most detailers. There's a lot of great guys out there, a lot of great companies out there, and there's so many people in this area that there's just plenty to go around. But I would say like, the main difference is that like a lot of the other detailing companies, they're clearly very money oriented. The whole structure wasn't based off a passion for cars. The whole structure was based off making as much amount of dollars as you can in X amount of time, or structuring it that way, which is great and good for you. But mine came from a passion of cars, being around all the gearheads, racing at the track, racing on the street. Not anymore, but there's a huge street car community and all types of stuff and all types of friends and shops that definitely like to have fun. So we've had a good old time, and there's just been so many relationships built there that when I started this company, it was so easy to kind of branch out and get in with all these guys. Like even Hades or Hayes Performance down there in Port St. Lucie, they build the coolest Hellcats and Trackhawks and all the fast Dodge cars and other brands as well. But they'll call me up for they got a specialty car, next car, they want to clean it up for the customer before they return it. They call me right up, and I go over there, take care of some cars for them. A1 off US 1 in Port St. Lucie. They work on cars. They sell cars. They call me up. They know I'm like, and I race with those guys and hang out with them. So it's just like they call me, hey, we got some cars that need to get done. So like the business has grown and branched off really off the passion for cars relationship. It wasn't so much of like, hey, this guy's a detailer, and this and that. It was like, oh, Shadi's detailing, So it was like, it was cool. It was definitely cool to start this business, and like everyone already knew how passionate I was about cars. So it was, I would say, an easy growth for me. You know?
Yeah, we actually tend to see it a lot too in our, industry and marketing. We always like to say we're locals helping locals. Like we're here in the area.
Yeah.
We're going to come out and help you. You can text us, call us. We're a drive away. But we tend to see a lot of people who get into marketing and they're like, oh, it's big bucks. And they'll sign you up on contract and you'll never talk to them again. So I think it goes
Right.
with us too to just have that passion, and it definitely makes a difference with our success.
Absolutely.
But I guess now we'll kind of touch into everything Big Ace Detailing offers. So if someone calls you up, what services do you offer?
Right. Well, and I kind of asked them like, "Hey, what are you looking to accomplish?" Because and that's something I kind of learned with like selling cars too. I kind of say like, "What are you looking to accomplish?" Because some people will call me, or I'll be working on someone's car at their house or somewhere, and they'll be like, "Hey, how much?" And I'm like, "Well, for what?" Because I can wash your car, just do a quick car wash for $50, or we can completely correct and coat your car. It could be $2,000. There's just no telling really what. I can pressure clean your home, the front of your business, your walkway. So we kind of do everything. So I kind of always talk to them first. I kind of get to feel them out and like be like, "Hey, I do everything. What are you looking to do? Like, what's the story with your car? What's the situation? Where are you trying to get it, and where are you comfortable at?" Because some people don't want to spend $500, $1,500 on their car. They want to spend $100 to $200, and you got to understand that everyone's different. You can't sell all the same people the same kind of detail. You have to be a chameleon. You have to be flexible, and or at least for me, everyone can do whatever they want, but that's the way I try to work things. Some people are like, "Hey, I got to sell this car. I need to clean it up real quick." So obviously, I know they're trying to get money for the car. Therefore, they're not trying to spend money. So I'll be like, "Hey, I do a quick $150 cleanup. I'll go through the car, clean it up real good, and wash it and roll. But if it's something that needs like a whole shampoo and headliner scrub, and they need a whole bunch more, I'm like, hey, listen, I can clean it up for you nice, but it's gonna take half the day, and we're gonna really go through it, and it's not gonna cost this." But I don't ever try to do that to somebody. Stop to stop and try and upsell. That's one of the things I will say other detailers are making a huge mistake on. They try to follow these like money strategies and upsell strategies for the perception of more income, more profit. But when you try to upsell people who you already told them, "Hey, yeah, no problem, I can take care of that for this," you need to take care of that for that price. Because when you try to upsell them now, it's like, all right, you're going back on your own word. So like usually, unless someone says, "Hey, this is what I'm trying to spend," we won't even talk pricing until I see their vehicle. I'd be like, "Hey, you can expect it to be 175 to 250, but I'll let you know when I get there. It won't be more than this. It won't be less than that." And that's about the most I'll try to really do, because every car is different. That's the one thing I learned. You can't quote everything the same. You can't charge everything the same. There's some full details I've done in an hour and a half. There's some that I've done in 12 hours. So everything is just different. And I always try to be reasonable with the customer, and, respect their time and money as well as mine. So it's not like "Oh, this is the price and that's it," or "It's going to be more than that even when I get there." No, I try to just be fair and work that, because I've gotten a lot of customers that called me and said, "Hey, this guy said it was going to be $150, and then he came back 20 minutes later, was like, 'Hey, it's going to be $250, $300,
Oh,
and I'll
wow.
never call that guy again.'" And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't blame you.
I wouldn't either. I mean, will you have people sometimes send like a picture maybe of the condition of their car? Cause
Yeah, I try to do that. When someone says, "Hey, the inside's not that bad," it's usually bad.
yeah.
So like when I'm like, "All right, send me a picture. Let's check it out.
hmm
Let's see where we're going at." And I can kind of throw a pretty decent curveball. I'll look at a picture and be like, "Yeah, it's a $200 car. It's a $250 car." Or like somebody sent me a picture of a van, and the inside, a bomb went off. So I'm like, "All right, well, that's going to be like a $400 or $500 detail. We got to really spend all day on this thing in each row." So it's everything's different. But yeah, I would say when people call me and they ask for like a price range, or like the list of services, I can do everything. I can detail your car from a basic hand wash to a full detail. It's a full paint correction, ceramic coating. I can pressure clean your home. I can pressure clean your driveway, your sidewalk, your business. I've done a lot of business fronts. Kind of easy one. Yeah, no, hey, listen, we can do the front of the walkway and clean it up. Yeah, I've done a lot of businesses and simple ones where like we just do the front entrance, the windows, the doors, the walkway, and yeah, and that's the type of thing I'll try to upsell, not the price on a job, but like a completely different job. Be like, "Hey, just so you know, I know you live in an HOA. When your driveway is getting dirty, give me a call. We'll come by, knock out your car and your driveway and your fence. So I've done a lot of combo deals like that, which I think a lot of details don't do. A lot of detailers don't tap into the pressure cleaning as much as they do detailing. So like, I'll completely give it a shot. I'll be like, "Hey, would you like to do your driveway too?" And we come back later and knock that out, and I'll just switch some of the setups and knock out the driveway real quick, or that's been like my version of like upsell, just a completely different job. And I don't ever pressure anyone or push anything. I think I just recommend it, like, "Hey, just so you know."
Yeah, and you're already
Yeah.
there doing, this job.
hmm
They're
100%. And now I'm trying to like, I got these new flyers versus just having business cards. I'm like, hey, here's also some of my flyers that break down a little bit of all what we do. So like, if they refer me to somebody or, they forget my info, they find the flyer and it's like, oh yeah, he also pressure cleans too, or we bought a new car, let's get it coated or, whatever it may be.
When I go to the car wash, it's like I obviously want it to have I want the rims to be like glowing, my tires to look, I just want it to look good. But I pay for the ceramic coating there. So is it actually
No,
doing
so
anything?
with the car wash and the ceramics there, what you're getting is a spray-on sealant. It's basically what goes on
Oh gosh.
as your car was just washed
Mm-hmm.
and it hasn't been dried yet. So like you've washed your car, washed the soap off the
Oh
car, but
gosh.
it's still wet. It hasn't
Yeah.
been dried yet. They are spraying on a temporary sealant
Mm-hmm.
that acts like a ceramic coating and might have some ceramic properties in its, chemical makeup or whatever,
Yeah.
but that's how they advertise it as ceramic.
Oh,
But it's a temporary hydrophobic repelling
uh-huh.
layer. It does work, but maybe for like a week, 2 weeks.
Okay.
I've tested all types of products. The strongest ones I've seen will last like 2 months, 3 months. Um, it's still protecting your car
Mm-hmm.
after it just scratched it up and swirled it at the same time.
Oh my
So like
gosh.
it's a double-edged sword. Like yes, the car wash is washing your car. Yes, the
Yeah.
wheels look shiny. You have tire shine. The bugs are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a sealant on there, so it's somewhat protected till your next car wash
Yeah.
from like the beaming sun. However, it's still getting swirled and scratched and you can even see on the flyers that picture in the middle like
Yeah. Oh.
it'll show like a half swirled up car and the other
Mm-hmm.
half that's polished. Either way, every time you run through the car wash you are 100% damaging your car.
That makes me sad.
I've had multiple customers who I tell them the first thing I tell them is even before we book the job, so that it's not like, oh, I didn't know thing. I'm like, hey, just so you know, after we polish out your car and get it
Mm-hmm.
ceramic coated and it's on point, I wouldn't recommend ever going through the car wash or, using dish soap to wash your car or anything of
Yeah.
that nature. You're gonna want to use, pH neutral soap, chemically balanced soap that's not
Mm-hmm.
stripping any coatings, but
Okay.
instead boosting and enhancing those coatings,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the opposite of a car wash because a car
Yeah.
wash is trying so hard to get dirt off that they're spraying degreaser strip soap on your car to strip all the dirt off. So when I wash my ceramic customers' cars, it's the complete opposite. We're using ceramic
Okay.
soap. It's pH neutral. It's very sudsy. It's hydrophobic. So it's rejuvenating and boosting that coating every time we wash it.
Okay.
So if you were to take your car,
Mm-hmm.
have me polish it, ceramic coat it, but then you ran right through the car wash again, it's going to go from it being a mirror back
Mm-hmm.
to you're going to start seeing damage again. And I've had that happen with other customers.
Yeah.
So
Oh, see, that's
yeah.
crazy because I pulled up. They're like, "Hey, we have this unlimited package. It comes with all of these things." I'm like, "Wow, that all sounds great. I don't know what any of it means, but sign me
Yeah,
up." And
yeah.
come to find out, now I'm sad because I've probably just been scratching my poor car up this whole
Definitely
time.
anything drive-through car wash, you're scratching your car. If you're using a broom to detail, you're scratching your car.
Mm-hmm.
Even the regular hand mitts, you're scratching your car if you're not using them right. You know what I mean? You drop them on the floor. You're not cleaning them off before you put them on the paint.
Mm-hmm.
They're not using a proper foam gun or soap before. There's so many different ways you can scratch and swirl up your car. You can just
Yeah,
lean on it with a pair of jeans on, and you're literally scratching
that's
your car.
crazy.
So yes, the car wash definitely does damage your car. Yes, it's convenient. I'd say it's
Mm-hmm.
good for those who just don't mind the swirls and scratches. Like
Yeah.
if you're it's clean, it's good enough, or they have a white car, a silver car, or commercial vehicles for their business. They just want to keep halfway looking decent. I get it.
Yeah.
It's convenient. It's cheap. I get it. But I'll say for the car people, the gearheads, or um, people who are OCD about their paint, or
Mm-hmm.
certain nice metallics, nice colors, they want to have their car looking as polished and mirror finished as possible, that they just wouldn't use the car wash. Like I said, I've had a few customers that went that route. They ran through the
Mm-hmm.
car wash after, and then they'll bring it back to me at some point after, and I'm like, "Did you go through the car wash?" And every time they're like, "Yeah," and I was just like, "I can tell
Oh my
because I
gosh, that's
spent 12
crazy.
hours polishing your car,
Yeah.
and now it looks like I haven't done anything."
Oh,
And I know I didn't do that when I last washed it because
yeah.
I always look at the cars in the sun and make sure everything's on point. And the
Oh,
way I wash cars doesn't scratch cars. So, you know, I've been disappointed to see that a few times with some customers. It's not about the money.
Yeah.
It's not even about paying me the money to do it. Like, you can have anybody hand wash your car. You can do it yourself. Just,
Hmm.
you know, it's been polished out for a day and a half, 2 days
Yeah.
to not look like that. So when you run it right back through the car wash, you just reversed everything you did. And on top of re-swirling it and scratching it and damaging it, you also just put a strip soap all over your paint again to like weaken your coating.
Yeah.
So I've noticed also like certain ceramic cars that went back through the car wash. I'm washing the car and it still sheets water, it's still beating up, but you could tell it's weaker than what it was
Yeah.
because it's been affected to some level chemically, you know?
Okay.
So I tell people like, hey, if you run through the car wash and you're mad at me that your car's not, as shiny as it used to be, or, it's starting to look swirled up again and it's not
Hmm.
really sheeting water off, then it's on you, it's,
Yeah.
unless you want to pay to have it redone completely all over again, because, it's still my time. I still have to repolish everything that
Yeah.
just got redamaged, There's nothing I can do there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, from your perspective, because I know we kind of talked about how some people, like they want their car detailed once a year or some are monthly. How often should people be detailing, maybe putting coatings on their car? Like, how often should
Yeah,
that?
that's a good question and that's another one that I would answer truthfully saying everyone's different,
Hmm.
because trying to say everyone should get their car done like this is
Yeah.
every so often is just really trying to sell. And I'll be honest with you, some people park their car in the garage and they won't even drive it if it's raining out, and it's almost always clean, you know what I mean? But they'll still have it done every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's just like when I go there to detail, I'm like, okay, I'll get it
Hmm.
done. Why not? But overall, I would say the norm is like once a month.
Okay.
Not everybody wants to do the car every week or every 2 weeks. I have some customers, great people, but they do the car once a year.
Hmm.
They have me come by and they'll do like a full detail package, with the protective sealants. They won't do the whole ceramic coating, but they'll still do. There's other protective sealants you can do that,
Hmm.
like kind of similar to what the car wash does without the scratches, but
Okay. Yeah.
where you'll protect and seal your car, but it's like the ones I use are like a 2-3 month thing. I recommend that it gets done quarterly. You don't have to sell them on a sealant every time they do the car. You're just, or you'll see detailers do double sealant and triple
Yeah.
sealant. Well, the sealant doesn't adhere to sealant, so it
Oh.
only goes on the car once,
Oh my
and
gosh.
it's sealed. So there's all types of tricks and upsells that people do to make you spend more money. Yeah, there's none of that. I'll do that once a year, take care of a car, we'll seal it up, and that's all they want, and that's fine.
Hmm.
But some people are like, hey, every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
they'll message me like, hey, my 2 weeks is coming up. They got you this week,
Yeah.
and I'll just kind of keep everything in my notes on schedule. It'll keep taking care of them every 2 weeks. I would say the average is like once a month, especially if you don't park in the garage or
Okay.
you're parking somewhere where there's a lot of trees, a lot of pollen, a lot of sap getting on your
Hmm.
car. All those little particles getting on your paint, over time, it's just going to make your car rougher and rougher. So the sooner you get it off, the better your car will always look. Because
Yeah.
once certain things sit in your paint for a certain amount of time or hours or days, the only way it's going to come out is by like clay bar and heavy
Okay.
aggression.
Yeah.
And with heavy aggression, like, yes, you'll get it smooth and there's nothing in the paint, but now there's also like scuffs and marks in your paint because you just
Yeah.
aggressively removed it. So then you have to polish it.
Oh gosh.
So then
Yeah.
now
It's
you're
like a
going through
whole.
the whole full
Yeah.
process again. So one way or another, it's either your car's just going to get dirtier over time,
Hmm.
and more things are going to be stuck to your paint, and you're going to have to just spend the bigger money one day and clay bar it and polish it and coat it, or you don't mind and you just clean it up, to the as good as they want it, basically, for what they want to spend. And
Yeah.
you just keep doing that until you know they get rid of it or keep it forever.
Yeah.
Whatever they decide to do.
And do you offer like any type of like packages or like monthly like plans for your
Oh yeah,
clients?
absolutely, and even especially for the customers who do the corrections and coatings,
Hmm.
I offer them a heavily discounted whenever they want. I don't even say biweekly, monthly. It's just, hey, if you do the paint correction and ceramic coating with me, whenever you want your vehicle done, we'll get it booked in within that week or so, and we will give it a ceramic wash, quick vacuum, go through the inside real quick, just a nice little freshen up to keep you on point, and it'll be extremely inexpensive.
Oh, nice.
So it's almost like a freebie after their big job. Then I have customers who, like I said, they don't want to spend all the money in doing a paint correction ceramic coating. Be like, hey, let me get my car done every 2 weeks. it could be as low as $75 every 2 weeks, like
Yeah.
if it's something inside, outside, quick little, because at that point you're only cleaning 2 weeks worth of dirt inside. It's going
Yeah.
to take me 10 minutes to do that interior, so I try to be fair.
Yeah. That's nice.
But everything's relative to the car and, how dirty they are and, how often they want to get it cleaned. But I would say I do offer, the more you get it done, the cheaper it gets.
Okay.
Is always the way it kind of pretty much works with us.
Yeah, I'm so OCD with my car where I literally am taking it like every weekend because like
Yeah.
the second the inside of my car feels dirty, I don't feel like a normal person. Or if I have like pollen sitting on my hood, I'm like, it just drives me insane. So I'm definitely like, I guess I could go 2 weeks, but a month I could push it, but I couldn't be a 1 year person.
No, I hear you. And because all my cars are ceramic coated, even I get lazy sometimes. So what I'll do is like, because I have the electric pressure washer,
Yeah.
it gets all the bugs off, all the
my
pollen
gosh, that's
off,
nice.
all the poop, like whatever
Yeah.
may be debris on the car, like it's all coming off with an electric pressure washer when they're
Yeah.
ceramic coated.
Oh, cool.
So the only thing that's left is that, hey, it's covered in water. So what I'll do is I'll just spray the car off with water, get it, looking relatively clean, and I'll just air dry it with a leaf blower. And because it's so
Yeah.
hydrophobic, the leaf blower just completely dries
Oh,
it
cool.
with a couple passes. And the car's like 60-70% cleaner. And I'm like, that'll do for another 4 or 5 days. 'Cause
Yeah.
after doing, on average 5 to 7 cars a day, you really don't want to do your own cars.
No.
And,
Yeah.
because everyone knows I detail and, I have a couple of nice personal cars, I try to at least portray the image like my car's always clean,
Yeah.
so I still have to do it anyways. But I definitely try to cheat in between and just spray it off and, blow the air at it, let it kind of quick dry. And I'm like, okay, it looks good enough to get me through the weekend.
Yeah. So where do you see Big Ace Detailing in the next few years?
Growing for sure. Right now we have one mobile unit and we're definitely going to have a couple more soon, a couple more employees. We're going to be branching out so that we're in multiple places at once. I have dealerships calling me for work and I'm there all day. And I have the body shop. Shout out Wayne's Collision Center. They are awesome people. They'll call me for work when they have 4 or 5 cars that just came out the body shop and they all
Oh,
need to go
cool.
to customers. Like, hey, come knock these out. I'm like, cool, I'll be right there. But I'm at Mercedes right now knocking out 4 here. So I'll be there late or in the morning. I always try to make it work for everybody. But I'm at that point now where I'm being pulled in multiple different directions. And I want to please everybody. I want to make everybody happy. And I cannot do that by myself.
No.
And I'm at that point now where I have helpers, I have friends, and shout out to all my friends and family who help out. I have a lot of support from friends and family. It's
Awesome.
ridiculous. It's super cool. And all my friends work hard. Everybody's got a job or a side business or doing something. No one's sitting around. And even when they're off, they'll still give that day off or the half a day off to come and help me out with a few jobs. So I always
Awesome.
have good working friends that are always down to help, and that is a blessing.
That's great.
The whole business is just blessed in general. It's been super busy, great support, great customers, great friends. But I definitely see a big location coming soon where you can come and hang out and get your car washed, chill on the couch, and definitely something like that where, we have multiple units going out. Lately, we've been branching out to Shift Culture, Treasure Coast Cars and Coffee,
Okay.
which they do one Sunday a month at IRSC in St. Lucie West. And they also do a show in downtown Fort Pierce.
Okay.
I think every second Thursday of the month or something like that. So shout out to Shift Culture. They have real cool cars, exotic cars.
Awesome.
I mean, great people over there. And I've been branching out with them. So I've been a vendor also for the Cars and Coffee Treasure Coast. So
Oh, I think I've seen that.
I've had my tent set up. I'm doing ceramic coating and correction demos at the show.
Oh, cool.
So that's been really cool, and it's been a real good way to like visually show people what a ceramic coating does. So you guys can catch me at Treasure Coast Cars and Coffee.
Yes.
I am there at every event now, and that's with Shift Culture. If you look up Shift Culture events, they have awesome car shows, car meets, and hangouts. I've been branching out with them, doing a lot of, just hanging out at the shows, having somewhere to come out and check out, some products and, a little bit of what we do, get some flyers and cards and just kind of talk with people. It's a car community. It's all gearheads, so it's cool anyways. It's a good place to hang out and kind of meet new clients and the type of clients we look for anyways, the cool car people and, or just regular folks that are even at the show that are just like, I need my car clean. I'm like,
Yeah.
gotcha, no problem. We don't discriminate. We'll detail anything from pretty much we've done even for Port St. Lucie Police Department. We just did a CSI van.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yes,
awesome.
I don't know who, but someone crashed their
Yeah.
van in like a little bridge and knocked like the roof off pretty much.
Oh my
And
gosh.
obviously having no roof in a van for a while, it
Yeah.
was dirty on the inside.
Oh
It was
gosh, I
dusty. It
bet.
was rough. So Big A's Detailing knocked that one out. We knocked out in like
Awesome.
3.5 hours, but it was all hands on deck. You know, it was a real dirty van, but we'll literally do anything. So
That's awesome.
boats as well. We've done boats. We've branched off into boats. We mainly focus on cars because cars is a passion. But
Yeah.
we get anything done really.
That's awesome. It really seems like you're thriving, your business is thriving, and you're living the dream that a lot of people want to live, being a full-time entrepreneur and just doing what you love.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like I said, today's 1 year of doing it, and I tell myself all the time, like, I just don't know how I could work for someone else on, trying to do something different again. Because like this is the first time that I've done something, and I'm like, I like what I do. I wake up and I'm like, oh, I gotta get this, and this done because it's
Yeah.
on me. It doesn't happen unless I do it. So it's like there's a sense of responsibility and like commitment there that it's all on me type thing, and
Yeah.
it just has me running all day, and I love the drive and the hustle for sure.
Awesome. So my last question for you is, how can our audience check out your work or maybe get in touch with you to kind of let you know what they're looking for with their
Yeah,
release?
so Big Ace Detailing is pretty much on every social media. You can look us up, and between Instagram and Facebook are our main pages where like, you know, we advertise all our work. We're on Google, we are getting into a couple other social medias, but between Instagram and Facebook, mainly Instagram, you can see all the types of work I've done, all the exotic cars, the Ferraris, the Bentleys, the paint correction work, the ceramic coating work. Most of the work is mainly on Instagram, but you can check us out on Google. You can check out our reviews, our info, and anytime you want to book an appointment or just even ask questions or like, hey, I want to detail that guy, but I don't know what my car's going to cost me. Just send me a DM. I'll always get back to you, and we'll work something out. Whether you want to drop it off to the day because it's a whole project, or whether you want us to come pick it up from you, we offer that as well. So like, I have a ceramic coating from a customer in Palm Beach. Like, hey, I want you to do my car. I've seen your work. I don't want anyone else to touch my car. I'm like, sweet, no problem. I'll literally go to Palm Beach with one of my helpers. I'll pick up their car, bring it home, correct it, code it, deliver it right back to their job the next day.
Awesome.
And yeah, I think convenience is our biggest thing. We're pushing for convenience, and we try to branch out and help our customers as much as we can. So you can reach out to us. We'll make it easy for you, and we're mobile and have a location by appointment that you can come by and check out. So.
Perfect. Well, that is a wrap on the episode. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh no, thank you for having me. It was great. It was great to talk about the business and be here. So definitely excited to where things go from here.
Awesome. Well, be sure to check out Big Ace Detailing, guys, and we'll see you on the next episode.